Well, okay,
Okay.
awesome. All right, I'm going to go live here and let's just wait and see that we are. Got it. Okay. It looks like we are live. Hello, everyone out there in social media land. You know me, I'm Kara Keenan with Going Beyond the Pink, and I am so excited today to introduce you to Shelli. Shelli is a breast cancer survivor, and we've been working together with through Going Beyond the Pink for a little while now. And one of the things that really struck me as I'm talking with Shelli is just how much she has learned along the way in this breast cancer diagnosis and treatment process. And Shelli just has such a huge heart and is so excited to be able to share that with you today. So, Shelli, welcome and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So as you know, we're live streaming out there with everybody on Facebook, and I'm going to go ahead and encourage everyone. If you are watching this live, feel free to go ahead and put any questions or comments you have in that comment section, and I'll do my best to monitor it as we talk. But if you are watching this on a playback, also feel free to type in any questions or comments you have, and I'd be happy to share them with Shelli later so that we can make sure to answer any questions that you have. So I know from my own personal journey that we learn so much, right, as we go through this experience. From that moment that we're even before diagnosis, right? Like even from the moment where it's something we need to look further into, all of a sudden there's this learning going on. And so I'd love to hear from you, Shelli. What are some of the things that really stood out to you early on in this process? What was all of this like for you?
Early on, it happened so fast. It was very difficult for me to process everything. I went for a mammogram. I want to be transparent. I had not gone every year, yearly. My OB/GYN made me promise her that I would go get a mammogram. I had always had dense breasts and fibroid cystic breasts. Mammograms were very painful. I did have an ultrasound, and I had 2 cysts aspirated in 2008. So at first, when they did say that there were some suspicious things on the mammogram, I was kind of like, yeah, I always get that. My breasts are dense, whatever. But when I went back, the doctor actually came in and an ultrasound was ordered. And I could tell just looking into her eyes how serious it was. She said, you need to follow up on this. This is very, very, very serious. And I did get a certified letter after that. But of course, I did follow up. I guess it was I would say about 10 days. And I was at the hospital getting an MRI. So I got an MRI on a Saturday night at 9:30 at night, and Monday morning I met with the breast specialist, and she was like, you have breast cancer,
Right.
stage 1. Or she didn't know the stage. I'm sorry. That was after the biopsy, but she said you have breast cancer. So I think it was about 10 days from the initial mammogram that I had another mammogram, an ultrasound, then an MRI, and then I was diagnosed. So it just happened so fast. I don't think my brain had a chance to really catch up for a while to process that I even had breast cancer.
Right. So as you're going through that, you mentioned kind of that processing part didn't even happen until later. What are some of the things that you did in the moments to help you kind of get to that next step? What do you think pushed you on to the next thing?
Just some deep breaths. And I'm a Christian. I just started praying, saying, God, if you want me to have breast cancer, then you have a plan for this. And hopefully some good will come out of this. And so much good has come out of this. I have met the most wonderful people. I've heard their stories. I've shared mine. There is just such a beauty in connecting with someone that's gone through something similar. And I won't even say the same, because what I found out was each breast cancer case is different. And even for me, the difference between the two breasts, there was different stage, a different grade. In the right breast, they really thought it was just lobular carcinoma, which is actually a precancerous state. But we did make the decision to do the double mastectomy and then found out it was in fact incidental cancer. So the breast specialist was like, we made the right choice, and like high-five me.
That feels good to hear, doesn't it?
Yeah, it felt so good. But it was just like, learn about ER, PR, the Onca test, the FISH test, like the stage, the grade, like it was just really challenging, but also wonderful to learn so much and learn how technology and how the medical field has become so well fine-tuned to actually be able for treatment to figure out the breast cancer and what is the best way to treat it. I didn't even know there was such a thing as an aromatase inhibitor. I thought, oh, chemo or radiation. So yeah, I learned a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you have any suggestions for people out there as they're first getting started in this process? Like, what do you want them to know?
It is a journey. It's not a race. It's going to take some time. Allow yourself time, allow yourself to cry, allow yourself just whatever you're feeling, just to be in that moment and feeling what you're feeling. And you don't have to figure it all out in a day. It could take a lifetime just to figure out. The hardest or one of the most challenging things that I faced was just acceptance. Being my personality type and just trying to research and figure out what I needed to do to, I guess, beat it, just be my surgeries to be efficient, or my first surgery, I will say, to be efficient, which I thought would be the double mastectomy with the back-to-back reconstruction, which did not happen because my body just did not have enough blood flow. Even though I tried so many ways and so many different things to have that happen, it did not happen. But just to relax and just learn what you can learn for the day, talk to people, hear their stories, share your stories. I remember the first person, one of the first people I spoke to said, you need a recliner. The next person said, you have to get these pouches for the shower. So I was like, what is that? And so I'm trying to find out all these details, but then these other little nuances, just to what I need for the surgery or surgeries. And so my cousin brought over a recliner and I was like, do I really need this? But thank God I lived in that. And then these little pouches I earned on Amazon, which I wore because I did have drains. So there was pouches for each drain, and there was a pouch for my phone. And then there were mesh ones for the shower.
Oh,
So,
great.
yeah, it was just, they're the little things, and just that I don't know, I may have read about, but just talking to people and saying like, you need this, you need that. Some people recommended a food train, and my neighborhood set that up. And so people dropped off food. People offered to clean, to drive my daughter places if she needed to be driven. I mean, really anything, walk the dog. I got emails, I can walk your dog. Like, I'm not one to normally ask for help, but that was another thing too, just to ask for help when I needed it. That was really important. Do not be afraid. People want to help. And it sounds so cliche, but it really does make people feel good to help.
It does. It really does. And it's funny, you're touching on this, but it's kind of been echoed in some of the threads of other things that you've been saying. I see it all the time, right? As women, we typically do a lot of the nurturing, right? We do the taking care of everyone else, and we're the ones that are organizing and arranging, and we do a lot of that in our lives. And so when it's our turn to be on the receiving end of that, it can be really hard. And a lot of us get into that kind of like hyperdrive phase of trying to get it all figured out and have all those answers. So that really stands out to me in all of the talking that we've done. Just that acceptance of where you are, and that whatever it is that you're feeling, it's okay, right? It's okay to cry, and it's okay to accept help or to ask for help. And Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really incredible.
I remember my plastic surgeon was like, it's okay to cry, because I was like, I just sat in the chair and cried. Like, I don't usually do that. I'm usually happy and upbeat and motivating, and I just sat there and cried. And he was like, it's okay. I am a runner. That was very difficult for me, that I wasn't able to run. And so he said, that's an outlet. Like, normally you would run and exercise. You've just been in this recliner, recovering from the first surgery, and then 5 weeks later going into the second surgery, which was significantly more painful for me. And so the whole healing process for that, I wasn't ready for. I was thinking it was like kind of like the first one. So yeah, it's okay to just cry, just bawl your eyes out. Just, you're not having a good day, or you're not feeling well that day, or just even, for me, just being able to say, this is really painful. Like, I
Right.
did not anticipate this. I underestimated this surgery. That was huge. For me. And again, just, I think part of the whole thing was just the acceptance that we all need help. We all need to just cry sometimes. We don't always have to be up. We don't always have to be positive. We don't always have to be encouraging other people. It's nice to just have people encourage us, and be there for us. And I could probably gonna cry, because I mean, everybody came, like my family, my friends, like, I just couldn't believe it. It was the first surgery was amazing, but then they all came back and helped again for like the second surgery. And I mean, this is like long, like, almost 3-month process just for the surgeries. And I mean, just constant, phone calls and text messages, and what do you need? What can I do for you? I'm coming over. I'm bringing lunch. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing.
It is. Can you share with everyone how long ago all of this happened for you? Like, how recent is this?
Okay. I was diagnosed on June 28th, 2021 with breast cancer. I had a double mastectomy on July 21st, 2021. As I stated earlier, my body did not have enough blood flow, so I could not do that back-to-back surgery. I was not able to do the reconstruction immediately following. So I had to wait 5 weeks in between. So on August 30th, 2021, I had my reconstruction surgery. And I would say it was about September 15th, I would say, I started my therapy. My cancers were growing from estrogen. So I did not have to do radiation. I did not have to do chemo. I am on an aromatase inhibitor for 7 years. So I was put on Arimidex and got very, very, very sick from it. My stomach felt like a ball of fire. I had really, really bad headaches. I felt nauseous a lot, had a lot of aches and pains in my body. I just could not remember things. I was so severely fatigued. I don't know what narcolepsy feels like, but I felt like maybe I had it a couple of times. I was driving and I was so scared and so thankful that I wasn't too far from home, because I literally just had to lay down and go to sleep for hours. Like, my body was just shutting down. So I went off of that for a week and went back on it. And now the side effects are manageable. But I do have to take it for 7 years. And for those of you that don't know what an aromatase inhibitor is, it strips your body of 70% of the estrogen in 24 hours. And within, I think it's like 10 days to 2 weeks, 80% of your estrogen is stripped out of your body. So it is a huge adjustment hormonally, and just the impact of that, the change that quickly. Because when you think of menopause, that's spread out over years. And this is just, for me, it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's really important to talk about too, right? Because I think culturally people have this vision of what it's like to have cancer and go through treatment for cancer, and what that is, right? And I hear women say this all the time, and I always just want to just hold them and say, no, don't invalidate what your experience is, right? Well, I had it better than most people because I didn't have to have this treatment or that treatment, right? But this particular part of your experience, Shelli, I think is really poignant too, because it shows that, sure, you didn't have to have chemo and you didn't have to have radiation. And we're all very happy that you didn't have to experience those things because they are awful, all in their unique ways. But you did endure 2 major surgeries and now have 7 years of this, hormonal blocking medication. And just that, I love the detail to which you're sharing about what that did early on and how quickly your body kind of reacted to it. Because I think, people just think about these daily pills as, oh, well, it's just another pill you take and it's no big deal, or that you're not going to have a lot of side effects, right? And this has a lasting impact on your life.
And I will share also, because there's also long-term effects. And I had a bone density scan before my second surgery, and I do have osteopenia. So I already have a lower bone density for my age. And so that has to be watched. And the oncologist explained there is like a drip that can help that. That's good. I think it's for about a year, but if it's done too often, it can do something to like your jaw. So she said, if my bone density goes down really low, they'll do that treatment, but you can only really do the treatment once, and it should be later in that 7-year cycle. And then high cholesterol runs in my family from my mother's side and my father's side. And, one of the side effects of arimidex can be high cholesterol too. So like my blood is monitored. So there's different things, short-term, long-term, also from the aromatase inhibitor. But thankfully for now, it's manageable. And I do just want to say I am grateful and thankful to be alive. And I do believe that each journey is unique in and of itself, but the more that we share with others, just our own experience can help. And what you said earlier is, we should never, as women, as human beings, never invalidate ourselves. Whatever we're feeling, whatever we're going through, it is okay. It's fine to feel that way. If you want to share it with someone, that's fine. If you just want to keep it to yourself and you don't ever want to tell anyone that you couldn't shave your armpits for weeks, or you have to have someone come over in the shower and like wash your hair
because you can't go like this.
Maybe you don't want to talk about. And another thing, I requested nipple sparing, a double mastectomy, which I'm very grateful for. They were able to save my nipples, and I was really, really thankful for that. But that was another, I didn't know. And it's kind of awkward at first when you start talking about these things, but then, for me, it does help. It's kind of therapeutic. And then also, I think if it can help other people to share, because I did have one woman tell me that it never crossed her mind. She didn't have it done here locally. It was never discussed. And it just happened so fast that she, lost her nipples. So that broke my heart. So please, if you're going through something like that, it's worth it to research, talk to people, and really
see if it's an option for you.
See if it's an option. Yeah,
absolutely. It's just funny. We could probably sit here for another hour just talking about the weird things that happen to our bodies as we go through this, right? The armpits, I can remember very recently talking to someone who hadn't had breast cancer and explaining one of these odd things. You talk about like not being able to shave your armpits. Well, can we just talk for a second about the fact that when you have surgery and they have to stretch skin and move things, that the places where hair normally grew have moved now, right? And so this is another strange thing to adapt to. Like, there are so many things like that, again, they don't come up in general conversation, and nobody just, let's put it out there. Let's just be honest with each other.
Let's do it. I'm just going to say, I felt something weird on my neck the other day. I hope this ties in. And I was like, what is that? It was this thick, coarse, just random gray hair growing out of my neck. I'm like,
well, you know
what
why?
is
Because
this?
your body's robbed of estrogen now, right? And so all of a sudden you're going to get, look, I'm just thankful I haven't started growing a beard yet. So
I'm checking every day.
all
I'm
the time.
checking. And my oncologist also too said, because I could have thinning hair, I probably won't, or it's not likely that I will lose my hair from this aromatase inhibitor. But a side effect is like patchy baldness, just patches. So she told me I could go ahead and start Rogaine. So I ordered my Rogaine from Amazon.
Right,
Did I ever think that I would say that sentence? No, but
no.
there's Rogaine for women.
That's right. That's right. And you know what I love? I absolutely love, Shelli, how just open you are in sharing this with everyone, because we, you know, every story is so unique, just like you've said, but there are some commonalities that come up. And sometimes there are things where you almost feel like, am I weird because this happened to me? Did it happen to anyone else? Let's just talk about all the things, right? Let's put it all out there, because none of us are weird. All of these unique things that happen, they happen. And you know what? There's lots of great tips and tricks and things out there, like you shared, right? The thinning hair. You could go get Rogaine now if you want, and you know, and work against that. There's so many options. So you've definitely, you know, talked to us so much about just the uplifting things, and just being that acceptance, right? Of being okay where you are. If you had to tell us two things that you learn, two tools, two techniques, two tips, something out there that you want to share with all the women that come after you, what would they be?
Okay.
I'm putting Shelli on the spot. I just want you all to know that this was not pre-planned or rehearsed.
No. I mean, my first has to be just to draw close to God. That was just so beneficial for me, and just gave me this peace, like this peace that does pass understanding. There was so much that I could not understand. There was so much that was out of my control. There was so much that was confusing. There was so much that my brain could not even process. Like, I mean, I had to compartmentalize and only process like certain things because it was just too much like coming at me. But just stopping all that and just praying, God, help me. God, help me to know what I need to know for today. Help me to do what I need to do for today. Help me to feel what I need to feel for today. And I just felt through the healing, like just such a closeness to God. So if you have faith, I really think the journey will help grow your faith. If you don't have faith, you know, maybe sometimes you can borrow some from someone else, or, you know, you will get through this. I will say that you will get through this. And then the secondly is, just be open and accept things. Like, these crazy things are gonna maybe happen to you, or just bizarre things, or things like you never thought would happen to you. I mean, like, yes, I'm like ordering Rogaine, you know, I'm ordering big shirts to wear in between the surgeries, because I'm completely, and I don't want to say flat chested, like, it started to concave, like the way that it was feeling. It was one thing like this, but then as the weeks went on, it started to concave. Like, I couldn't even go and like put on a t-shirt. Like, so just, just, you know, try to just be open and just like count your blessings in life. And just, you know, it may be as simple as just, you know, I woke up this morning, like, that's okay for the day,
that's
you know,
enough,
and
right?
just be open, like, what's going to happen today? I don't know. And, you know, for me, I was just trying to work initially to get to a certain level. And that didn't work. I was just getting upset. I didn't know where I was supposed to be, but I was trying to work towards them, you know, and I would just say, just let all that go and just really try to just like enjoy and be open to whatever your experiences are. And then hopefully one day, you know, you can share them. You can feel comfortable and share them with others.
Oh, I love that. And I'm going to go ahead and put out there that this is a series that we're working on here, is just to invite more patients and survivors in to share stories, because we all learn and grow so much from these. Shelli, thank you for sharing yours and for just your willingness to come on and be so open and to offer that kind of joy and acceptance for everyone out there. Really, it's just so huge and so helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And then just to leave on a healthy note, I would love to know, what are you doing for yourself to care for yourself going forward?
I am making it a point to eat healthier. I'm trying to just do my best to eat clean. I'm drinking more fluids than I've ever drank, mostly water, but sometimes I'll throw some cucumbers or lemon, and it just constantly staying hydrated, making sure I get enough sleep every night. And then I do my devotionals every morning. And I just, after I do them now, I just give myself 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a little longer, just to sit and just meditate, reflect, on what's happened, or, just again, just count my blessing. Just what can I be thankful for today? And
Yes.
it has just made my life so much more joyous. Like, I really can't believe this, but it's so true. Like, I am like happier because of breast cancer than I was before. And I am more diligent about self-care. And I'm, telling other people that too. Like, that is so important. You really can't take care of other people until you take care of yourself. And also, you're worth it.
Yes.
Whatever it is. And I'm so excited. I got the green light to start running again. So that's going to be huge
Yes.
for
Yes.
me. Yeah. So I think this whole breast cancer thing helped me to get my priorities more in line, for the good
Yeah.
things in life,
Yes.
not just the constant going. And, I'm taking time to see the miracles, and I hope everyone out there does the same.
That is a beautiful way to put it. And I know so many of us can relate to that. Amazing. Shelli, thank you so much. I also want to say, just because, I mean, Shelli just laid it out there for us, y'all. We do have a gratitude journaling workshop coming up. And as Shelli was talking about, just finding ways to be thankful every day, to find that space and time just to think about, what is it that I'm thankful for today? That is really, really incredible. I am scanning. It looks like our gratitude journaling workshop is going to be right here online. We're going to live stream, or you could join us in the Zoom. You can get more information about that on our Facebook page under the events section, but it'll be November 22nd, which is a Monday. It's the Monday right before Thanksgiving. So I'm sure we'll all already be in that thankful thinking mode. Shelli, again, thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. It has been such a joy to see you here tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Kara. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's it. That's a wrap for us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and turn us off on the live. Bye, social media land. And